Hey y'all, Lindsay here, and Fearless Coaching. Hey, guess what? I was super lucky enough to keep my hair during chemo. And if you're interested, I'll tell you how. So first, before we get started, a little disclaimer, this is just my experience. I'm not giving any advice, any medical advice. So use your best judgment. Again, this is just from my personal experience. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, the rug was pulled out from under my feet. It just completely caught me off guard. There were a lot of things being thrown at me at once. Freezing my eggs was the start of it, and chemotherapy, of course, which is usually accompanied by hair loss, and then surgery, full mastectomy and radiation, then endocrine therapy afterwards. So the whole gamut kind of hit me. And I latched on to this idea of keeping my hair. I just thought if I'm going to do anything, that is what I'm going to do. And I just think it's so beautiful. There are so many women who rock it with no hair during chemo, and they just look absolutely stunning and fabulous. And they have this beautiful confidence that they can do that. And for whatever reason, I just could not envision myself with no hair. I just couldn't let it happen. I was holding on so tightly to this idea that I'm keeping my hair, and I just decided it, and I was going to do whatever it took to make it happen. So luckily, I was able to keep my hair. I did lose a lot of it, but this is 8 months post chemo. So I'll take it down at the end of the video so you can see the entirety of my hair, but my hair is about down to here. I did lose a lot of hair. All of this growth of hair, which is now coming back in curly, as you can see, this is all hair that I lost during chemo. So I had bald spots up through here. You can kind of see, the hair is less right there. Bald spots all through here. And then, I lost a lot of hair at the back and then a couple spots throughout my head. But the beautiful thing was somehow I was able to keep my hair throughout the entirety of chemo, which really helped me personally on my healing journey. When I saw the bald spots near my ears, I think that was one of the first moments where I was like, wow, I'm really, really sick. And that was a good moment. I needed to have that. But for whatever reason, by keeping my hair, it helped me to keep my mind high vibe, my thoughts high vibe, my thoughts really positive. And I did lose a lot of hair at one point after my second chemotherapy. And that was very intense for me because I thought that it might all fall out, but I was lucky enough to be able to keep it. And they told me if I didn't lose it all after number two, then I would probably keep it. So here I broke down what I did, and here are the options that I utilize to keep my hair. And if you're interested, you can always reach out to me. I'll put links below in the comment section below that you can access to about the different things that I mentioned in this video. But you can always reach out, comment, and let me know, and I'm happy to support you and give you links and all of that in any way that I can. But my number one saving grace was the Digna cap. So again, I'll put that link below. But what it is it's a cooling cap. So they place it on your head prior to chemotherapy and run a cooling agent through the cap. And it freezes your head, ultimately. It's very uncomfortable at first, I'm not going to lie. But after about half an hour to 45 minutes, the discomfort subsides. It feels like a migraine coming on, but then the discomfort subsides and it just goes so cold that you can't feel anything. And what the cold does is it doesn't allow, I guess, the chemotherapy to penetrate those cells. So the hair cells then are protected. And of course, there were a couple spots like here where the cap didn't reach that I did lose my hair. And then there was a couple spots back here, of course, too, and up front here that the cap didn't reach, that I lost a lot of hair. But ultimately, it was my saving grace. I was able to keep my hair, which was magical. And I attribute most of the ability to keep my hair to the Digna cap. There was another woman who was doing chemotherapy the same time I was. I'm not sure what her chemo was, but my chemo in particular, I had two different kinds, and they both, a side effect was hair loss. For her, she was able to wear the Digna cap as well, and she hardly lost any hair. at her third chemo, I mean, she had a full set of hair. It was absolutely incredible. So what my nurses told me is sometimes people don't lose any, sometimes people lose some, sometimes people get bald spots, and sometimes people still lose their hair. So everyone's different. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just personal experience. So the DignaCap, although uncomfortable to have on 6 to 8 hours during a chemotherapy session, was worth it for me because I was able to keep my hair and it was absolutely amazing. It can be a little bit pricey. You will pay initially for the equipment, they send that, and then each time you'll pay for a card. And I'm not sure pricing. Again, I'll drop a link so you can research it if you're interested. But each card is for one session of chemotherapy. So they put it in the machine and then you're attached to the machine via a hose the entire time as the coolant circulates through the cap and keeps your head frozen throughout the entirety of the chemo session. Okay, next thing for me, and I can't prove this, but was juicing. I juiced all the time. I drink a fresh juice every single day. And I read quite a few books that were in support of this, that were saying that hair loss was lessened by intake of juicing. Of course, you want to ask your medical provider or your medical practitioner before you do something like this. But for me, juicing helped me tremendously during chemo. I couldn't always drink it the first week after. I was quite sick, but the weeks in between chemo, because I had chemo every 3 weeks, I think, the weeks in between where I wasn't nauseous, I would drink heaps and heaps of juices. And I did some good multivitamins, some B vitamins, and different things like that. Of course, ask your healthcare practitioner, but different nutrients to just make sure my body was filled with positive nutrients. The next thing I did was no sugar. And so I know I say juicing, and juicing, of course, you get a lot of sugar or the spike in or like a high glycemic index scenario when you drink the juice, but I juiced low sugar vegetables. So I did a lot of celery. I did a lot of greens, things of that nature, cucumbers. So I kind of just put a lot of random vegetables together for juices, and I didn't mind the taste of it, but there are all kinds of juicing books out there that are wonderful for this kind of thing. So juicing was amazing. Then the no sugar was really big for me. And they recommend a no sugar diet during cancer anyway. There's a lot of mindsets that say sugar feeds cancer. I don't know if I'm 100% on that train, but I knew that by eliminating sugar as much as I could, that would help me on so many fronts, and it really did. And I think it played a big part in the fact that I didn't lose all of my hair. So the next thing was the DignaCap, which I mentioned in the beginning, and then also specialized hair care during chemotherapy. So I will create another video that goes into deeper depths with that, but there are specific things that I did with my hair to ensure that I had the least amount of loss as possible. So I was able to keep the most that I could. And then the final thing was visualization and just, I don't know, maybe it sounds cheesy, but in my mind, I just knew I'm keeping my hair. I visualized it and it felt like I created it in a way in my reality. So the power of the mind is so incredibly amazing. And so I was just convinced that it wasn't going to happen. And I got so lucky. So anyway, if you're interested further, you want more information, reach out to me. You can drop a comment in the comment section. You can click my link below and schedule a free support session with me. I'm a breast cancer health and life coach. So we can, during the session, go over all the details about the DignaCap and what I did. It's a free session. Why not? And then, yeah, any other way, just, reach out and I'll get back to you any way I can. And just so I don't forget, here is my hair. Excuse the chaos of it. There's a barrette out back here. But as you can see, I still have quite a bit of hair here, which is awesome. And then there are definitely spots where it's starting to grow back in poofs in areas over here and over there. But yeah, I feel like one lucky girl to be able to have kept my hair during chemotherapy and during this whole treatment, just the whole journey. It really, it just really helped me in a lot of ways for whatever reason. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested, please like, subscribe, share. If you know someone who's going through this that can benefit from this video, please share it with them. If I can help you or them in any way, I would absolutely just love to. I would feel blessed too. So thanks again for watching. So much love. Wishing